Welcome back to Speak Up Queen, the podcast where we empower, uplift, and celebrate women who have reclaimed their voices to inspire others. Today, we are excited to introduce Klara Ganter, a career coach, entrepreneur, and inspiring mom of three who is on a mission to help mothers turn their dreams into reality. Klara is the creator of empowering programs like Career Restart for Moms, which transform career gaps into strength and provide moms with the confidence to re-enter the professional world. Klara's own journey as a former pastry shop owner and entrepreneur has taught her the power of resilience and balance. Through her coaching, authorship, and speaking, she uplifts and supports women navigating career transitions, showing them that motherhood is not the end of their story. It's the beginning of a powerful new chapter. Let's give Klara a warm welcome to Speak Up Queen.
Thank you so much for having me.
Klara, what does healing mean to you? And how has your journey toward it shaped the woman you are today?
Yeah, my career journey started when I was pretty young, finishing university, and then I started out at a big company, multinational company, and I climbed the career ladder as usual. But then when my first child was born, my first daughter, I have three daughters. So when my first daughter was born, I felt that I don't want to go back to this place because it was not really family friendly. Uh, to say the least. I always wanted to do something in hospitality and something with food. So my second degree is actually hospitality. Back then, this was almost 20 years ago. Back then, blogging was a big thing. There was no Instagram, and Facebook was still like figuring out. But blogging was a big thing. So I became a food blogger, which I could do next to my kid. I had workshops like cooking workshops, baking workshops. I published my first online course when it was absolutely no online courses at all, like a cooking course for other moms, meal planning and these kind of things. But video and everything was not that educated like it is now. But still, I saw those courses. I published my own cookbook as well. So I was pretty active, and then my other daughter was born, and then my third daughter was born. So time went by, and finally I had the opportunity to open up my own pastry shop, because that was my dream, to have a brick and mortar, something with food and things like that. And it was a pretty fun place. It was a very small place, family owned business. It was me and my husband. I mean, my husband was supporting me. He was not working actually there. Sometimes he was jumping in to brew some coffee, but that's it. But I was the one, and I had employees as well. And we were in the middle of it was in Hungary. I'm Hungarian, and we opened a pastry shop in the middle of a wine region, which was pretty unusual, because for me, wine and dessert is something pretty okay. I think it's really good. And in this region, which is just 20 minutes from Budapest away, there were lots of like the gastronomical festivals, food festivals, and wine festivals. And also, it's a region where lots of these fancy wineries are in Hungary. So they had lots of events and yeah, lots of things. So we kind of blended into this community, and it was great. And I had my own recipes, and I could bake whatever I wanted. But it was my dream, and as career dreams are sometimes, you dream something, but the actual reality is different. So I ended up like working 7 days a week and having three kids at home, because we had lots of events on the weekends. And yeah, so it was great. It was successful, but it was a lot. And I came to the point where I said that, okay, either I'm with my family and in my marriage and with the kids, and I see my kids and this life, or I just go on with the pastry shop. And for me, honestly, it was not a question how to decide. So I had the decision to close the shop. We sold it, and that was the first basically the first wake up call in my life, when I felt that, yes, I was sad, but I choose my family, obviously, and looked for another job. And life rewards you different ways if you're open to it. And when I closed my shop, it was 2020, January the 18th. So I don't know whether it rings a bell. In 2 months, COVID came basically. So because it was a small owned business and, kids were homeschooled during COVID, I just couldn't have been keeping up with the pastry shop. So I was so lucky that I could make the decision and not, the circumstances. So by the time COVID hit, um, we haven't sold the place yet, but afterwards we could sell it. But I already closed it, and I already was working at a small company, at an international small company. So basically, I was saved, and everything went well. And it was a big switch because big transition basically because I worked like for, I don't know, 12 years, not in a corporate world. So, finding myself again, I went to a coach to find my strengths, my skills, what could I do, in which direction should I go. I speak more languages, so that was definitely something I wanted to use. But that helped me to find pretty quickly a job. And then I worked there for 3 years, but deep down inside me, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not an employee. So when this ended, I started to think about, okay, what's my next gig? What should I do? And I applied for some jobs, and there I get the response many times that I'm too complicated. I think too much, and this kind of thing. I think in systems, and I said yes because I'm an entrepreneur, So I finally understood that okay. Being an employee is not my path, even though it could be easier for me to find a job with my skills. I was in leadership positions and things like that, so it wouldn't be a problem, but it's just not me. And I still wanted to be with my kids, have a flexible schedule. So I was thinking about, okay, let's do, okay, I'm over 40, let's do something meaningful finally and give something to the world, change the world. It's big words, but for me, it's important to do something that has an impact in my community or somewhere where it's, I can help someone with their life. And I was thinking about, and I always had these questions from friends and family, that how can you switch that easy from corporate job to entrepreneurship and then back, and you did it many times, and how do you do that? And I said that I am pretty confident in my skills and that what is important for me, that my family is first, and I adjust everything to my family. And I realized that this is not something that everyone has, this confidence, and I there were times when I didn't have it. So I started to think that maybe this is also the problem for other moms, and it is. It turned out, wow, I'm not alone in this, and it's not only me who has this thoughts, that mom guilt and time management and self-confidence, and that, wow, yes, for everyone else, if you have a child, everything changes, right? Your priorities and so on. So I created, then I started to create online courses for moms who, again, as well, wanted to restart their career and, redefine their professional identity. And I always worked in my corporate jobs in HR. So I kind of knew what I was speaking about. And it's not really career coaching in a sense that I don't help to find an actual job for moms, but I do everything before that, just rebuild the confidence, find the skills that they gain through motherhood, finding out whether entrepreneurship would be a path for them or not. Because for some people, they only just need some confidence, just some support that, yes, start. Whatever, and we are also making this strategy career planning, which helps a lot for moms, because sometimes they feel that I have to go back, otherwise I lose my title, my position, and I never will be a leader, although I learned that much, and I have experience. And we do it strategically with them, and I support them with sometimes stepping back a little bit, like having just a part-time job where you cannot be a leader, but you have a job. It helps you for 2 years or 3 years to gain back the confidence, the skills to, have a bit flexible schedule with your kids. And then when kids grow up, you still have time to be a leader and push your career and have high positions and CEO positions, whatever your dream is. But it's okay to choose family first for those years. And it does not mean that you have to stay at home or something. Just if you think strategically with your career planning, it helps so much with the confidence and the guilt as well. And for some, the entrepreneur path is what they want to do, because that's where they see and their skills are matching this path. So I also this year I create this kind of mastermind programs for moms, for those who struggling with goal setting and starting out in business. I'm not a business coach, so don't help them with their actual business, but we are a group of like 5 or 6 people supporting each other with knowledge, shared knowledge, and confidence. And it's absolutely, as well as all my programs, through the motherhood glasses. So basically that's it.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Can you share a moment when you chose self-discovery over self-doubt? And what have you learned about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we are constantly learning. So self-doubt is always there. I would say so, every day we could find this that, oh, what am I good in at, and whether I'm doing my job good. But I think we have to accept that this is not going away completely, but you have to learn to live with it and handle it, and basically focus on things that we can do and not focus on things that we cannot do. Right. So for me, basically on an everyday basis, I try to be better in focusing on that. And that's how I manage it. And I encourage everyone to do that as well. Because if you list whatever you reach on that day, no matter, how busy your day was, I'm sure that if you did only like 5 minutes of self-care, or you solved the problem, or you finally got an appointment at the doctor or at your hairdresser because you was just pushing these things, on your to-do list, that was what you could do at that day. And don't think about uh, what you couldn't do at that day. Just, write it on your to-do list, and whenever you have time, then you will get the chance to do that. I mean, time management techniques help help a lot with that. But this is how I handle it basically.
Oh, wow. Women are often seen as nurturers. How do you balance nurturing others while ensuring your growth and well-being?
Yes, nurturing. Yes, of course we are kind of meant to be these nurturers, and when we have a kid, our mind is conditioned that we have to do everything for the kid, right? And it's true in the first few weeks and months, and the balance is like kind of 100% the baby in the first days and first weeks, and then it slowly can get back to yourself. It obviously never will be 100% you again, and that's okay as well. But how I do it is setting boundaries, for sure. My kids are 12, 14, and 19, so they are a little bit older, but still they are, very needy, obviously. And when they come home, they need my attention. They need food. They need, learning time and whatever, and playing and talking. They are girls, so they are in the teenage years. We have a lot to talk about every day. So I try to uh, teach them to be independent, which helps me to set boundaries. And I think to say no sometimes it's just the best tool that we have, and we don't use it enough. Because a kid is conditioned, like if I push the button and I say, "Mom," something will happen, right? I get the solution instantly. And we are conditioned, like if the baby is crying, I jump and take care of her or him, right? That's how we are conditioned. But this is a balance from the first few weeks. We cannot keep it up in the teenage years, right? So we have to let this nurturing go a little bit up to a point, and giving the kids also some, confidence in their decision making, and delegate a few things with household chores, and okay, try to solve it, and then I help you if you are stuck, but I will not solve it from scratch, right? And things like that. So I try to keep it like this.
What inspired you to reclaim your voice, and how has that choice impacted your life?
To regain my voice. Um, I think I was always the person who was standing up for herself. So it was not really, I wouldn't say, I find my voice in everything what I did. It was not easy, but I'm kind of the person who, whenever I have a vision and a goal, I do everything and try to reach it, and don't look back, and try not to look, right or left, just focus on my goal. And then after that, I try to think back, okay, wow, I did this, and how did that happen? Because I was so much focused. And yeah, basically, I think we have to find our voice in everything. But this is based on our skills and confidence. And if we are know what we can, as I said before, if we focus on what I can do, what I am capable of, what are my skills, what are my strengths, and I can show that, that's my voice. And yeah, basically that. So I encourage everyone to do some self assessment. That's why we do in our programs as well. We start immediately with a self-assessment, sometimes personality trainings, or assessments, lots of assessments, professional ones as well, because it helps to see yourself from the outside a little bit. That always helps. Or if you turn to a coach, then that helps as well, absolutely, to find your voice.
Wow. What advice would you give to women who feel silenced, overlooked in their personal or professional lives?
Um, if it doesn't go from themselves and they cannot solve it, but they already feeling that something is not okay with in their life, I absolutely uh, uh, yeah, encourage them to turn to someone else. And it shouldn't be family, because family is hopefully very supportive, but they cannot see it from the outside. They are in it, and they are also emotionally involved, which doesn't help. So I always encourage people to turn to a coach, check out online programs. You can turn to me as well, but fine. I'm working globally and online, so I'm accessible. But there are lots of other women out there, or coaches, who can help. But just to do like a talk with someone can help. So it doesn't have to be a fancy or expensive program. You doesn't have to jump right into a 6 months program or something. Just speak to someone, get some insights from the whole thing, and just think about uh, it. Yeah, think about who you are and who you want to be. What we are doing in our programs is we are doing first a vision exercise. So just try to see in the future where you want to be. And it's not what kind of title I want to have, what kind of job I want to have. I always ask, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? How you imagine your day in 5 years? Do you wake up, put on fancy clothes, go to an office? Then you are kind of an employee type. I mean, I make this now very basic. We are doing a lot more exercises, but just to understand to the listeners. Or are you the person who wants to travel and like freedom and yeah, these kind of things. And I also ask them, look back into the past. Go back to when you were 15 or even 8 or 17. What kind of dreams you had about yourself? Because sometimes you forget it, because life is rolling so fast, especially if you're a mom. You just, I don't know where these past 20 years went by. I cannot remember a few years where what was when I had my 3 kids. But, when I go back who I was before that, or before I even started my professional journey, when I was a kid or a teenager, and we have always very big dreams, right? But where are those dreams? Where are those dreams? So I asked them to go back and check out what kind of dreams they had. Maybe they are not valid anymore, or, that's okay as well. But go back and try to find yourself there. And then we compare these two, the past and the future. And then from that, we plan strategically the career path or the future, how it can be, and then we break it down into small things. So that's it. So I encourage everyone to make that exercises at home as well, to think back. And also what is very important, and it's very related to this exercise, that I ask my moms in the groups and in the courses, that when was the last time when you said to your child that you can do everything and you are good in this and you are good in that? We do it every day, right? We just want the best for our kids, and we always say, you can be whatever you want. And then I ask them, go to the mirror and say it to yourself,
That,
right? Because no one is telling us that anymore. So we have to speak up for ourselves and go to the mirror and ask ourselves, or tell ourselves, we can do everything. I can be anything I want, right? And I'm good in that. I'm good in that. I can do it. And we tell it to our child all the time, all the time. You ask mom, and what do you want for your kids? Whatever she wants to be, I support her. Come on, let's tell us to ourselves as well.
I love that. How have setting boundaries empowered you to live a more authentic and fulfilling life?
As I said, boundaries are very important. And it's not like I am strict, or, I cannot let my kids have with me. Boundaries means to me basically schedule. I'm pretty much the person who is good with time management. Some people are not, which is also fine, but they still can set boundaries within the time. Use a calendar. For example, my very basic technique is I block time. So, my calendar is not open 24/7. I learned from my mistakes from the past. But even if I was working a corporate job and I was in a leadership position, everyone comes to you and they just suck your energy all, all the time and all day. And you have to solve it because you are the leader. But I was actually blocking time in my calendar that no one can have a meeting with me at a certain period of time, like for 2 hours every day, because that was the time when I was actually working. And it was kind of a no sign. No, I'm not available for you now. And you can have meetings around it. And this is the same now. For example, when I have a meeting or I have a podcast as well, the Working Mom Show, and if I have a recording, I ask my kids beforehand, I have now a recording, please be quiet. I mean, they are a little bit bigger, obviously, so it's getting easier, but still, I am not the first for them. So, because kids are the first for themselves. So I asked them, I now have a recording or I have an important meeting. Please do not disturb. I close the door and do not just crush in. Otherwise, also, if you see that I'm working and the door is open, just please tell me that, Mom, do you have 5 minutes? Or when do you have 5 minutes? Because they are sometimes just crashing in, and that's my door, so that's why I'm pointing that. So yeah, so they are just crushing in and immediately start to tell a story about their friend or what happened in school, or what I should buy them something, their shoe is whatever. And I asked them, okay, I'm in the middle of an email. Now I cannot concentrate on my email because I completely forgot what I wanted to say to that person. And I completely cannot focus on you right now because, two informations coming, it just kills each other. So it's zero. And then I'm kind of, okay, just frozen. And I asked them, please ask at least the questions. Mom, when have you 5 minutes? Because I want to talk to you, right? The house is not burning, so it's nothing urgent that we have to discuss. When we buy you another pair of jeans, we can discuss in half an hour. And then I can say, okay, let me finish this sentence, let me send this email, and then I'm completely with you. Because sometimes we make the mistake that, we try to focus 100% on our work and 100% of family. And it's not 200, it's zero actually, because it will lead to burnout. So we have to set boundaries. And sometimes it's 60% family, 40% work. Sometimes it's other way around. But even if you work a corporate job, but if you have a business as well, it's also very important to have working hours or working periods during the day. And then you can 100% focus on your work. And then after that, switch the button. Don't check your emails, throw your phone away, whatever, and focus on your child. And that's how it's working for me.
Definitely. Like the lady just before you, I was talking also about my calendar is like my biggest boundary setting. It is like, sorry, I can't, I've got a meeting at this. Like my friends know now. They're actually asking, Marika, when do you have available time for a coffee? And I'm like, let me just quickly grab my phone and I schedule it in because I like also time management. My brain just works when I know exactly what to do. And
Yeah.
especially if you're coming from a chaotic childhood, abusive childhood, and you didn't know what's coming, what's happening today, and being an adult and you have this ability to own your life and you can set boundaries and you know your routine. Like I'm just putting in self-care there. I'm putting in like family time because when I started this podcast last year, November, I was working 18 hours a day, starting 3:30 in the morning till 9:10 at night. Don't see my husband, don't see my child. Over weekends, I was just going. And at one point, I was so overwhelmed and burnt out that I couldn't even walk from this chair
Yeah.
5 meters to my bed because my body just didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And this year I was like, and then I was going through, I've created a guide and I was investing in the boundaries because I was feeling so overwhelmed and burnt out. And then there's actually 6 types of boundaries. And my weakest one was time boundaries. And I was like, no, 2025, I've got this scheduled for podcasting, this scheduled for this. This is family time. This is this. Sorry, I can't do anything else. If someone is wanting to be on an interview earlier than 9 o'clock in the morning, I'm sorry, I can't help because I need to stay firm because we need to be firm in our boundaries so that we can be energized and pour out of our full cups because yeah, burning yourself out, yes, the mission is amazing, but at what cost? Missing family time, it's not worth it. So yeah, definitely.
No, and it's so important that you mentioned that because especially moms sometimes start a business or an online business because they want to get this hustle at the corporate job and they want to decide on their own when they are working. But it's so easy to fall on the other side that you are working really more than if you would working in your corporate job. And I always tell my clients that come on, this is the greatest thing. You are now the CEO, right? So don't act like an employee in your own business,
Yeah.
right? You can decide. You can decide whatever you want to do and enjoy that power and enjoy that confidence that finally I mean, you wanted to leave the corporate world because your boss was telling you whether you can pick up your child at 4 or don't, or you can go to a school event or not. You switched, you transitioned to having a business because of that. So why are you still doing that with yourself, right? So it's kind of, it's not funny obviously, but it's kind of funny how we transition, but don't prepare for that actually. So I speak a lot about this, and because I was there as well, so I have experience in that, and I have experience in having corporate job and the business as well, many times transitioning here and there. And I know right from my experience that how hard it is. And now I kind of experienced in doing that, and I can say confidently, okay, I see this because I was in there. But as you said, yeah, it's very important to have boundaries for sure, and for others as well to. And the calendar is, by the way, an amazing trick because you can show it to others. It was not you. They were, it's my calendar. I have proven it's like my boss. I use it sometimes like it would be my boss. I cannot, sorry, because as you see from 9 to 3, I have something. So that's it, right? It's a written proof that you can use for in your favor to show others when you have time for them.
And the right people will respect that. When one of my friends, I said to her, I've got 45 minutes before the next interview for the podcast. You can quickly come over, have a cup of coffee, let's chat for 30 minutes, and then you have to leave again. And she was like, I'm in, book me in. I was like, 10 till 10:45, it was your turn. And I put all my focus just on her because I had
Yeah.
the time. I didn't have to stress about, oh, shit, I still have to do this. It was like, I know exactly what's coming. I know exactly, I've got 45 minutes. It's actually putting that stress levels of, oh, what do I need to do next? What do I need? Now I'm like, my 90-day calendar is next to me. It's also scheduled into my physical calendar. I know exactly, okay. But sometimes, yes, life happens and things get, but that is,
Yeah,
you
but
must learn how to.
yeah, but you know what? If you have a schedule, at least it works for me, and I see that it works for others as well who are using this technique. I mean, as moms, we have to be flexible because kids get sick, whatever happens. And if we have a schedule and if we have something that we can reach out to, like a calendar or schedule time, that even if it everything just explodes because of sickness or something, at least you know what you are missing out and you can immediately go back and reschedule. But if you are just in the woods and know nothing about what you wanted to do at that day, then you have no idea the second day when your child is better and you finally have a few hours to catch up. You have no idea where to start over, right? So it's like I'm a big hiker, and if you go in the forest or mountains, you have a plan that you follow, kind of. And even though if you kind of leave the road for a few minutes because there is some castle you want to see or whatever next to the road, then you exactly know where is your road and where you have to go back to start from that. So it helps a lot, even if you have to be flexible. So if you have a schedule, you can be more flexible if you don't have a schedule.
Yes, and especially if you have a business, I thought that I had to show up all the time, every time. And then something happened and I had to reschedule the whole day's interviews. These women or these people know that life happens. So it's okay if you need to reschedule something because something happens. You don't need to be always on the running. And yeah, it was just like, oh, they are understandable and just
And also, I mean, your podcast is Speak Up Queen. So just one a thought for that. Sometimes moms are really apologetic about their life, right? Sorry, I cannot because my child is sick. Sorry, I cannot because I have a parents meeting and I have to reschedule. Don't be sorry. That's life. Speak up for yourself. Even in your corporate job, when you go, I encourage everyone, if you go to an interview and like job interview, or you are already working there, don't say that sorry. Don't start the sentence with sorry. Sorry, my child is sick and I cannot go. And sorry, I'm a mom. I only can work part-time. No, ditch the story and say, I'm a mom and I only can work part-time. Make it as a statement, not an apology, right? So that's how we speak up for ourselves, because it sounds really confident. And this is a statement. Motherhood is a statement. You don't have to be apologetic about it.
I mean, everywhere I've worked since we've moved to Australia, I just told them straight up, my phone, if my son phones me, I'm picking it up. I don't care if I'm in a meeting. I don't care if my son is phoning me or the school is phoning me. I'm picking it up. I can work this times. My business always comes first. If you want me on your team, I am willing to work. If 9 till 5, I am yours. I am doing what I'm paid to be doing. But
Yeah.
before and after, over weekends, it's my time, nothing. But when my son, I always tell all my bosses, my family always comes first. If my son is sick, I'm going home. If you don't like it, you want to give me unpaid leave, tick, I don't care, but my family always comes first, because I only had 1 month maternity leave when my son was born, and I had to go back to work because financially we couldn't afford not to work. And that is something that I regret so much, because I didn't have that time as a mom to bond like other moms has been. And I've been a survivor, so I also had that, ooh, will I be able to protect this child, blah 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 blah, and all of these limiting beliefs. But that is really one thing that I regret the most, is I had to go back. But now he's 12, he's turning 12 in 2 weeks, going on 18, by the way, but we will leave it there. But I won't, now that I'm in a position to say I can work 9 to 5 or 9 to 5. That is my office hours. I will give my 100% for you. But when my son is sick, you can either, and that confidence about, like you said, they were like, no, we are totally understand. We agree with you. Your family must. It's like they are just like changing like a whole different story.
And as I said, life will reward you for that. If not, physically or financially, then in the relationship with your child and in your marriage. Absolutely.
Definitely. What's one practice or mindset shifts that have helped you embrace your worth unapologetically?
Basically everything what I told before, that I saw that life rewards you if you put family first. I see now that my kids are teenagers, I see kind of their response to how I handled these things. They still, I can still be a role model for them, because that's also very important for women, because, we are teaching our kids that, yeah, life and work balance, but they don't actually experience that sometimes, because they just see an exhausted mom, and we say, we do it for you. We have all the finances for you. But, reprioritize what we are doing, and how we see our life can be a really big mindset. So for example, if you ask someone what is the most important thing in your job, money, right? But actually it is not. So everything can be done, because if you say, okay, family is first, then you adjust things to that, right? So there are lots of people who really think that, my finances are bad and I really have to, and yeah, maybe for some time you really have to go back to work, as you said as well, or do certain things that that are not serving your days with your kids. But as I said, that's why we make these strategic career planning things. Okay, but be conscious about it. Why are you working at this job? Because I need money and my circumstances are this and that. But be conscious about it and do something to change those circumstances. And maybe then in 1 year or 2 years, you can say that, okay, I'm done. I did what I had to, but now it's time to move on. But if you stay in that job or stay in that situation, it will be just worse. So it's, yeah, basically that is really important, I think, to be very conscious about our choices, and not just go with the flow all the time. So that helped me a lot to understand that, yes, finances are sometimes not that important on a long run. We can, and if you do, for example, what you like, and what you really can, what is absolutely you in your job, whether it's corporate or business, then life will reward you financially as well. Because you are the best in in being yourself, right? So don't listen to others. Society has a big pressure on everyone. even family, you cannot be a business person. What if you don't have clients, or what if you cannot sell this or that? Be at your corporate job, yes, it's shit, but at least you know that shit, right? So and it's I don't have this mindset anymore. I know that why I'm doing certain things, and what is my vision and how I want to reach it. And yeah, that helps a lot to be confident with my decisions and not to be influenced by society or by family or by parents or by my child, who's how my parents did it with me. So yeah, basically going through the same what kind of programs I created to others helped me a lot with this.
Absolutely. Well, Queen, the last question. What inspired you to say yes on being featured on Speak Up Queen? And what does this opportunity mean to you as a platform to share your story?
Uh, Again, thanks so much to have this opportunity. I came along your podcast or your voice a few months ago, and I think Speak Up Queen on itself, just this expression, means so much to me. I phrase it a different way, but I always support these things where we can speak up for not women rights. I wouldn't say that, but yeah, it's also that, and I think that we are the ones who can speak up. No one will, no employer will speak up for ourselves. No other person, not the neighbor. Maybe they support you. Yeah, it's nice what you are doing, but that's it. But we have to find the queen in ourselves. So I always use the opportunity to share these thoughts, because if someone listens and it helps her to understand, or helps her just, it's the last button they needed to push to change for the better, then I'm super happy about that. So I try to use the opportunity to help moms in this field where I can help. There are lots of other helpers out there who are helping with, I don't know, how to get a sleep for the baby, and lots of other practical things. I can help with self-confidence and time management and strategic planning, and supporting you in whatever you are good at, and finding the best skills that you have, and support that, and to switch back to my previous life, to bake an amazing cake out of your skills, and use that and share that with others. So that's my passion, and that's my mission, to help moms to redefine their identity after being moms and still have a career that they're dreaming of.
Well, Klara, thank you so much for sharing your powerful and inspiring story with us today. Your journey reminds us of the strength and courage it takes to heal, grow, and thrive. To everyone tuning in, remember, your voice and your story have the power to inspire and create change. If today's episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Until next time, Queens, keep speaking up and embracing your power.